In this tutorial, I'll show you how to draw an old weathered window in Procreate, like this one, with broken blinds, scratched walls, wires, and a lovely little plant to set the atmosphere. Just one default brush and the Lasso tool, the whole process from scratch. By the end, you will be able to paint your own, and these techniques work beautifully for illustration backgrounds and concept art too. Let's jump in. This guide is beginner friendly. If you're just starting out with digital painting, you'll find it approachable. If you are more experienced, you'll pick up some tricks for adding texture and life to architectural elements. All you need to begin is an iPad, an Apple Pencil and Procreate. Start with a new canvas. Pick a relatively large size so you can zoom in and work on details later. I'm using 3500 by 5000 pixels. My usual go-to size for daily sketches. The brush is the default Tamar brush, which you'll find under the painting section of the standard Procreate library. Keep the opacity at 100% and you're good to go. And that's the whole secret here. One simple brush does all the heavy lifting. The trick that makes the wall and wood look genuinely old and whether it comes a little bit later, so stick around for that part. Don't forget about two useful windows. First, the palette. Simply drag the colors wheel menu to a convenient spot on your screen. Second, the reference window. Use your own drawing as a reference. To find it, go to the range menu, Canvas, Reference. At the first stage, we'll construct the shape of our future window using the Lasso tool in rectangle mode. You can fill the selections with any color at this point. It doesn't matter yet. We are just building the dummy. Create each new rectangle on a new layer. We'll combine them into folders and merge them later during the painting process. At this stage, don't be afraid of artificial straight lines. That effect will disappear once we overpaint everything during the actual painting phase. I'm not adding any wall elements for now. They're quite simple and don't require sketching, so we can add them later. Create a thin long rectangle as a part of our blinds. Copy it and merge the two layers. Repeat this several times, add two vertical rectangles and you'll have a base for the blinds. Use the Distort or Wrap tool in the Lasso menu to tilt the blinds. Erase a few segments to create an interesting broken blind look. Now that the base is ready, we can move to the fun part, the actual painting. I'm drawing the window on a warm sunny day, so my palette is rather warm. Put your layers into alpha lock mode and start painting. Drag and drop a sandy beige for the walls and the main window parts. Paint the shutters with a brownish tone, and I've chosen greens for the blinds. For the shadows, I use darker, colder colors. If you are unsure about the color, remember you can always create a new layer above, turn it into a clipping mask, paint the necessary areas with blue and reduce the layer's opacity. It creates a lovely glazing effect. I'm using a textured Tamar brush, and at a large size it gives a nice, quite realistic effect. Weathered walls and wood. Create simple volume for the shutters. Just make them three-dimensional. Don't worry about the exact colors for now. Next, add planks and wood texture for the shutters. To the shutters. Here, I use the same approach as with the blinds. Draw a line, duplicate it, move it slightly lower, merge the two layers. Repeat until you have all the planks. Then use the Distort tool and in the Lasso menu to tilt the lines into the right perspective. Time to work on textures. I use a lot of hatching for the walls and wood. Add bright highlights to the blinds and the lit areas. Then we can add a cute pot with the leafy plant. I create a new layer and use a random bright color, in my case red, to block in the silhouette of the pot and plant. Then I turn on alpha lock for this layer and overpaint everything with the more appropriate colors. Next, I start working on the shutter texture. Scratches, hatching, locks, and nails on the surface. In the next step, I'll add the wall. The paint has fallen off in many places here, and the cast shadow from the windows is a dark gold area. Polish your illustration with extra highlights on the plant. Make it bright and contrasty. Don't forget the blinds on the window locks. There is no need to render them properly. Just add a few bright spots to imitate lights on metal. Reduce the artificial look of the lines wherever possible. Add areas where the paint has peeled off and a few dents on the wooden planks. Use a dark color to suggest bricks under the window. No need to go into detail here. Use the same color to underline the cracks on the wall. It adds a lot of texture. Create a new layer. Pick a bluish purple, a cold one, and draw something that looks like leaves on a lit shutter. Reduce the layer's opacity and apply a Gaussian blur. This shadow creates an illusion of a tree branch hanging somewhere in front of the camera. Then draw the wires as a nice detail somewhere above the window. Draw them freehand. It looks far more realistic than a straight line. By now, you should have a textured, weathered, characterful piece that feels like it could exist in the real world. We could certainly spend some time polishing it, but I hope this walkthrough was helpful. A few final thoughts. Walls are great practice for texture. The techniques you use here, base color, shadow blocking, freehand line art, layered highlights, and use an alpha lock and clipping mask for glazing, apply to almost any textured surface: stone, wood, fabric. A simple textured brush like the one I used here works perfectly. Save your reference photos. If you want to try a different style of window, real-life photos are an incredible source of inspiration. Stay tuned for more tutorials and time-lapse drawings. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and see you in my next one. Cheers!